Okay, that is enough for us to just introduce Project 2. And now you got to kind of decide, how much you want to think about this, but I do want to present it to you because this is where we're going. This is an important application of this really important part of the course. Project 2 is a project where you're basically going through the process of thinking about buying something big. And I want to make this applicable to you. A lot of students want to try to use loans that they already have. There may be a way to do that, but it may not be just as easy as plugging in the numbers that you already have. So we need to talk about that. So I'm just going to open up the starter work here. There's 3 handouts: the starter work, the actual project, and then the rubric. I would start with the starter work if you're interested in actually thinking about this. And basically, this is a 2-sided piece of paper. You're not looking at it that way, but the second side is the same as the first side, but I went through and I basically made the decisions as if I were doing the project, so you can see what I'm talking about. I would do this mostly on paper. Sometimes students get confused and they start writing all of this into Excel. Here's what it looks like in Excel. Let me pull up an example project. Okay, so it's going to end up being about 4 sheets on this project. And just to try to describe the flow of the project to you, you're going to start with the responsible borrowing concept and say to yourself, I want to buy this thing. This is the interest rate I think I can get. This is how much I think I can afford to pay. This is how long I want to do it for. How much can I afford to borrow? You have to use an Excel formula to answer that question. Once you've got that, then I want you to go shopping and find something that you want. So a lot of times when I'm in the classroom walking around and students are getting started on this, they skip over that and they're already looking at cars that they want to buy. I want you to try to do the responsible borrowing framework. So once you set the price, you go shopping and you look underneath that, and you're welcome to make adjustments. Like if you make some choices like, no, I really want to keep my car payment to $150. I want to be done in 3 years. I'm going to have a 3.5% interest rate. And you plug in the numbers and it's like, oh, I can't find anything for that. Go back and change the numbers, right? Or bring in another variable like, well, I actually have $5,000 saved right now, so I could make a down payment of $5,000, and that changes a little bit of what I can shop for. So, you're free to make it personal to you and to change things if the parameters don't give you what you want. Generally, going more years is going to allow you to borrow more money. Obviously, paying more per month is going to allow you to borrow more money. Getting a better interest rate is going to allow you to borrow more money. Okay, so the first sheet is just kind of going through the responsible borrowing framework, finding something you want to buy, then answering the question, how much would you pay per month? Followed up with the 2 extension questions that we practiced in class, which is, well, how much would you pay total then? And how much did the loan cost you under those circumstances? The next one is where you make a payoff table. In this payoff table, you're going to go back to what you originally said you could pay. That comes out of this first question. Because what you should have found, like this example that I've done here, originally I thought I could pay $355 a month. Well, when I did the math, it turned out I only needed to pay $339. So my question is, well, you already said you could pay $355. What if you paid $355? And that's what this payoff table is for. It allows you to go through and pay it off and see how much it costs under those circumstances. Because remember, once you are in a loan, really the only control you have is how much are you paying per month. And if you can pay more per month, you should save yourself money. The question is, how much are you going to save? And is that motivating enough to help you make that decision to pay more? The third one is a similar payoff table. And I recommend you do Excel 7 first, so you have the nucleus of all of this set up in Excel. You can just copy and paste the tables over, change the APRs, change the starting balances, and let it run. For this one, you're going to look into the future and you're going to say, well, I'm going to school for this purpose. I think I can get this kind of job after that experience. And in that circumstance, how much could I afford to pay? I don't want you to change what you're buying. I don't want you to change the APR. I just want you to say, well, now that I'm a registered nurse and I'm earning, $70,000 a year, I can afford to pay $600 on my car payment. I know it would be tempting at that moment to go off and get a better car because you can pay $600 a month towards it, but that's not the point. I want you to stick with what you originally decided you were going to buy and just pay it off faster. So you can do the comparison across the different scenarios and see, here's how much the loan costs under this condition. Here's how much it costs when I stepped up my payment a little bit. And here's how much it cost when I really stepped up my payment because I had a better job. The last table is a comparison table using absolute relative change. We'll worry about that once you get the other sheets done. Okay. But I just wanted to map out the kind of trajectory of the project. Again, I want it to be personal to you. So if you're thinking about car, do car. If you're thinking about house, do house. Condo, whatever. If you're not car or house, maybe you need a new computer. I mean, a new computer could be $1,200 for a good computer. So, maybe that's what you're interested in buying, and you want to think about, well, I want to pay that off in 2 years, and here's the interest rate I could get. Same thing applies. So it doesn't have to be a $12,000 purchase. It could be a $1,000 purchase. I want to go on a cruise. I want to take my family on a cruise. Well, I don't recommend a cruise right now, though. But later, once this whole coronavirus clears up, something like that. Any questions about project 2?